Hi, I'm Mayor George Bray, and on today's episode of City Profile, I'm sitting down with Commissioner Ray Henderson to learn more about what drives him as a city commissioner. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of City Profile. This show is a show where we get to know our local leaders, get to know more about them, and it's really my honor today to have Commissioner Ray Henderson with us. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So you and I have worked together for the last 5 years. We got elected the first time at, on the same election, and so I would have to say it's been a great experience for me. And I've gotten to know you pretty well, but I'm not sure everybody in the community knows you as well as I do. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, how you got to here in Paducah.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Mayor, for allowing me to be here. And it has also been my honor to work with you. But I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I was born in an area called the South Shore area. And went there and went to college in Judson College in Elgin, Illinois, which is now Judson University. Graduated there with a Bachelor of Arts in Communications, and ended up at the Southern Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. I began preaching at 16, so I knew at a very early age what I wanted to do in life. And so after graduating from seminary, I went back to Chicago, worked for the Southern Baptist for the Southern Baptist Convention, I should say, as a church planter, and stayed there and worked for 4 years and ended up back in Chicago. And in 1992, I answered the call to come here to Paducah to be the pastor of the Washington Street Baptist Church. And so I've been here since 92. This September, I'll celebrate 33 years as the senior pastor of that congregation. Washington Street is the oldest, one of the oldest African American churches in Western Kentucky, and we are the oldest African American church in Paducah. We are actually 170 years old. So that's my formative years, if you will, and that's where we are now.
Okay, so you've been a pastor. You're getting ready to celebrate 33 years as pastor at Washington Street, and somewhere along the way, a bug bit you or something motivated you to seek public service. So, what's that all about?
Well, as I look back over my life growing up, I've always wanted to help people. I always wanted to serve people. I can remember countless times my parents told me, you need to mind your own business. That is not your business, because I was always trying to do stuff to try to help folk. My friends, or whatever the case might be, even if it was a friend who thought that they had been treated unfairly by the teacher or the principal, I was the one that was going to help them out. But so I've always wanted to do that. And after coming to Paducah, living here for a while, we obviously, my wife and I, we love Paducah. And there are so many opportunities here in Paducah to serve, and so I wanted to get involved in that. I had no idea when I came here in '92 that this is what I would be doing, but this is I got bit by the bug early as a kid, and have always wanted to serve people in some capacity, and so this is a good place for us to begin.
Well, Pastor, that modus operandi that you describe about helping other people, that really shines through on your service to the commission. I think that's something that all of us see.
Well, I appreciate that.
And so it serves our community very well. As you look back on what you've accomplished, what the commission has accomplished, with you serving, is there anything that's memorable, that you're most proud of as you think as you think back on some of the things that we've accomplished as a team?
I think that probably the greatest accomplishment that we've made has been the South Side revitalization. I think that is so, if I can use a corny term, cool, you know, for our community. Obviously, people have lived on the South. People grew up on the South Side. They've lived on the South Side for a number of years, and oftentimes I think that the South Side residents have felt kind of like stepchildren, or felt like they had not been thought about. And so just our taking the time to do the few things that we've done, you know, the bringing that South Side back to life, preserving the memories of residents of the South Side, giving people opportunities to fix their homes, to develop or buy a home. That is absolutely what I think service is all about. And that's probably the most exciting accomplishments that I think we've made as a team. Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have to agree with you. That is a big accomplishment, and of course, it's a very much a long-term project. It's not something you snap your fingers and things happen. So, we've still got a ways to go.
And that's the difficult thing about the project, is that it doesn't happen overnight. You do want to kind of snap your fingers and make things happen, but as you said, it takes a minute. It will far outlive us.
Yes.
In terms of getting the South Side to where it really needs to be, but that it's exciting. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. So, as commissioners, as elected officials, we definitely face challenges. Trying to, serve our constituents, and we all face challenges together. But if you had to think about one particular challenge that that Paducah has in front of it right now. I mean, and you might think of a couple, but is there anything that just strikes you as something that we have to take on and we have to solve?
Yeah, I think that probably the biggest challenge is the stormwater issue that affects our entire city. At present, as you know, there people who have lost because of the floods that may occur. So that's a big issue. It's a hard issue. It's an issue that takes time, and it takes energy, it takes understanding, and I can't say that I understand everything that there is to understand about stormwater, but I do know that's a challenge, and I do know it's something that does affect many of our residents here.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because it's an issue that gets talked about, of course, whenever we have a big rain. We recently had I don't know, I'm not sure, 5, 6 inches of rain in an hour or something. And of course, there are parts of the city that flood instantly, and we have made some progress, over the last several years. We've been kind of taking it in baby steps, and we made, but we have ways to go.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned all the challenges with it. I think probably the biggest challenge we have with is resources, financial resources, because it's going to require a great deal of money, and sometimes it's hard to spend money on issues that aren't front and center for everybody.
Well, I think one of the things that you've said is that we're making baby steps, and I think that is what's significant for me, is that we are making some steps. We're working toward solutions. We've had reports done that has given us information. So we're not just sitting back twiddling our thumbs and saying, "Oh, we need to, hope this will stop." We're trying to do some things, and I think that's the plus about our commission, is that we are progressive, in that we are thinking about tomorrow and the next day, though we may not all agree about what tomorrow looks like or the next day, but we are all looking for a better day.
For sure. And so that kind of brings me to my next question. I mean, obviously, in our form of government, each of us has one vote, which really kind of forces us to approach our jobs as elected officials, you know, kind of in a team, in a team. What's the word?
A team effort.
Yeah, a team effort, a team strategy.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for. So, do you think that we've been successful with that? And has there been particular challenges to that? How does, I'll put it a different way. Everybody's a little different. Everybody's got a different background. Everybody has got a different friend group, constituents, you know, and how have we approached this as a group in order to move Paducah forward?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that's important, and this is probably a difficult thing for you as mayor more than it is for the rest of us, is that you have the difficult task of having to listen to all of us, you know, the challenges that we personally bring to the table, you know, but you have worked to keep us informed. And you've worked to tell us all the same things so that we know where we're going and what direction perhaps that we should go in. And so that, to your credit, I think that has been a good thing. But we do work as a team. We do listen to each other as a team. I don't know that we all agree with each other as a team, but then who wants a team where everybody's agreeing? So we bring our different thoughts and our different challenges, our different perspectives. We bring the challenges about the constituents, the people that though we represent the entire city, obviously there are certain people who do have our ear, and are able to get to us. So they bring their thoughts, they bring their ideas, and so we're able to take all of that and come out with something, I think, that's good and something that works for everybody, you know. And I think one of the things that you've done on a few occasions is that you've said, if we've disagreed, you've said, well, what do you think? How does that work for you? Can you live with that? You know, and I think those are important team words. You know, it's not about just what I want. It's not about what any other what you want or any other person wants. It's about, can you live with that? Can you work with that? And can we move the team forward?
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, and it does. I think it's you know, my opinion is it's really better when all the commissioners are talking with the other commissioners. You know, that we don't necessarily form cliques, you know, that we listen to everybody's opinion, and then we've got, you know, full knowledge before we come to commission meetings and we're ready to vote.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
So it's it seems to have worked pretty well. I'm going to shift gears, if I can, just a little bit. And, you know, as I think about this taped interview, you know, people are going to be watching this in the years to come. I mean, this is something that kind of is going to survive all of us. And we had a tragedy happen in our community on August 9th. And then as a result of that, on August 12th, or in conjunction with that, we suffered our first line of duty death of a police officer since 1928. Sergeant Ryan Hudson, you know, he's going to be remembered in our community. Would you be willing to share your thoughts about that whole event? And really, it was a tragedy, and kind of where we are and where we're going from here.
Well, obviously what turned out, what began as a celebration of freedom from slavery for African Americans, turned into a tragedy. And so I think that particular event kind of took all of us aback. You know, we don't ever want, obviously, anybody to die from service or die from doing, but it does happen. I'm not saying that it was because of the 8th of August celebration that it took place. It took place. It could have taken place any day, any celebration, or didn't necessarily have to be a celebration. So our community obviously is grieving, but one of the good things that I think that has come out of this and will continue to come out of this is that when these kinds of things happen, we grow together. We learn how to support each other. We don't blame and point fingers. We say, hey, look, this is what has happened. So now how do we get past this? So we have our city and our police force. They have just gone above and beyond to support Sergeant Hudson's family.
Yes.
They've done all of those things, and I think, and it, you know, we went to the funeral, and it was a good feeling to look and see all of you and all of the commissioners there and supporting this family. So it's a tragedy that will prove to be a great triumph for our community and for our city. Yeah.
Well, I like the way you put that. I mean, it was a tragedy, but I think it's also a learning experience. I mean, I think we need to learn from it.
Yep.
And I've had several conversations since then, and I know there's a lot of conversations going on in our community, and I believe that there will be very positive things, as tragic as it was for the young lady
Absolutely.
who lost her life, as well as Sergeant Hudson.
Absolutely.
I believe it will eventually, turn into positive momentum.
Right. We grow from our pain, and if we don't grow from our pain, it just ends up being pain.
Yes.
And so, again, it has brought us together as a community. We are remembering the Hudson family. We're remembering the Walker family. Everybody has been affected, by both deaths, but we're going to come through it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd like to, Commissioner, I'd like to ask you a question about your service at Washington Street Baptist Church. You've been the minister there for 33 years, and you've developed, you have a certain leadership style, and as you talked earlier, you've had a goal of serving the public. What are the skills and experiences that you've developed there that have helped you in your role as a commissioner and an elected official representing the city of Paducah?
Well, one of the things that I've learned, I thought I already knew, but one of the things that I learned serving as pastor at Washington Street has been to listen, to learn how to listen. I thought that I knew how to listen. I thought that, but I've learned how to listen, not just with what's coming out of someone's mouth, but what's really coming out of their heart. And so at Washington Street, I've learned how to listen, and I've developed, obviously with God's help, that empathy, that trait that was already in me, but now I try to be more in tune, not just with what a person says, but I try to place myself in their shoes, and I ask, how would I feel if this were something that happened to me, or if this is where I was? And so I've done that. I've learned that at Washington Street, and I think I've brought that to the City Commission, and that is to, we've got 27,000, close to 28,000 people who are citizens of Paducah, and sometimes those residents, they call us or they show up,
Right.
They have challenges. And so I always want to make sure that I'm listening to them, that I'm listening and not just listening to come up with an answer or a solution or a rebuttal to whatever they say, but I want to listen to a person's heart. And so I've always been taught that you treat people the way you want to be treated yourself. And obviously we all have been taught that. So I'm listening and I'm trying to figure out, how would I be reacting right now if this happened to me or if this happened to someone in my family? And so I try to get that empathy to kick in, to say, okay, I need to put myself in their shoes. And so I try to do that as a commissioner as well. And that's why I guess I'm always bringing up stuff, asking, as we just had a meeting a few days ago, asking, can we come back and reconsider?
Yeah.
After listening to some of the residents' heart and where they were coming from. So now I'm thinking, oh gosh, I wish I could just cut it off and we move on. But there's something about my shape and something about how God has put me together that I just can't turn other people's feelings off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand, and that's something that's always come through loud and clear with you is listening intently to our residents, to our citizens, to our constituents, and it's always shown through. And I think you do a better job of that than some of us others at times.
Sure, I get it.
So again, we all bring strengths and weaknesses to our roles in the commission, and it's always good to have
Good
different
mix.
people with
Absolutely.
different. One of the things we talked about earlier, I asked you what one of the things that you were most proud of, and you talked about the South Side, and we talked a few minutes about that. But is there something that sticks in your mind that you're least proud of, or that you really wish we might have done differently? I mean, I think we all have. I like to say we all have 20/20 hindsight. It's easy. None of us can predict the future, but is there any particular learning experience in the commission that you'd point to?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's for me, it's always a learning experience. Okay, and I do take the time to sit back and think about what we've done, what I've said, and try to figure out, is there something that I could have said differently or something that we could have done differently. But I don't know that I would necessarily put that in the category of something that I wish we had not done. Because I think that everything that we've done has been necessary things to do. Okay? But for me personally, I think sometimes maybe I should have spoken up more, or sometimes I think that perhaps I should have probably had more knowledge about that or more information about that. So those are the kinds of things that kind of make me go, oh gosh, we got to do better there. At least I have to do better, but I'm not throwing the commission in there. Yeah.
Well, I believe it's hard. I mean, there's a lot that gets thrown at the commission. A lot of information gets thrown at us. The staff cannot move forward with virtually anything without a vote. So everything is thrown in front of us, and it's our job to try to figure out what it is. And it's a lot of information to absorb.
It is a lot. It is a lot. I told someone just the other day, I said, gosh, we've only been in this new year, 7-8 months now. I said, this year has seemingly in all 5 years into one. That's how it feels sometimes. And that's how overwhelming it can be at times. But I love every moment of it.
Yeah. So I want to bring up a subject that's been in the past at times divisive in our community. But as mayor, I feel like it is something that we will have to address in the future at some point, and that is, the lack of aquatic activities in our community, the lack of the opportunity for, people to swim, it's a complicated challenge and issue. But who do you think the people are that, or the entities are that need to step up and solve this issue? Because when I look around as mayor and I see other progressive communities, I see aquatic facilities.
Absolutely.
And I know it's something that some mayor, some county judge, somebody someday is going to have to solve for this community. So I'd like your view on that.
Well, I think if you remember, the first thing that we voted on or voted down was the bonding of the aquatic center. Okay, it was not that it was not a good idea. because it obviously is a good idea, it probably was not the best time for an aquatic center to take place. But I think as we progress, it is something that we need to talk about. And it is something that the citizens, I'm always about the churches, as well as the elected officials, our county elected officials, county residents. I think it's time for all of us to come together and to try to figure out how we can make this happen. I think the time is now. With all of the other progressive things that have taken place, that are taking place, I think the time is absolutely now. You know, and those are the entities that I think need to come together and talk about that.
Okay. Well, I think it's certainly a discussion that we're going to have to get started. You know, at some point in time, it's not an easy discussion because it involves money.
Absolutely.
You know, it involves taxpayer money, and so a thoughtful process about that, I think, is important to our community going forward. And I do believe that that issue will get solved, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
So we just got a few minutes left. So I just want to ask you a couple of kind of final questions. So when you look back on your service, whenever it ends, one way or the other, and we all leave a legacy. Can you tell me a little bit about what you want your legacy to be?
Well, it sounds cliche-ish, but it is exactly what I think. I want to be able to say that Raynarldo Henderson worked to make a difference for people, period. I want the people to be able to say that at Washington Street Church, that is a congregation that will help a fella in whatever situation that they find themselves in. That's what I want my legacy to be.
Well, that's certainly an honorable legacy, and I can say that you're, you know, from what I see, you're certainly living out that legacy as we speak. So we just got a minute or so left. If you wanted to leave one message for the citizens of Paducah, you know, about yourself, about the commission, about the city, what would you like to share?
I would say to the citizens of Paducah, come grow with us. And that simply means get to know us, allow us to get to know you, learn the issues, let's talk about them and see how they apply to our lives. Just come grow with us.
That's a great message, and I want to thank you, Commissioner Henderson, for joining me today. And I want to thank everybody out there watching for joining both of us to watch this episode of City Profile.
Thank you so much.